Three mere mortals discover their ability to create entire universes with their minds alone. Upon discovering their abilities, these three, gods if you will, join forces to create the Dark and Stormy Nights, a supercharged team of creatives with the aim of helping artists and writers around the world while combating the forces of boredom and mundanity. They are the Dark and Stormy Nights.
Hey guys, it's Loki from the Dark and Stormy Nights. I got a couple friends with me.
A couple friends.
You know,
Or
old
three.
friends.
Yeah.
that
Hi,
you
y'all.
know.
I can do
It's,
math.
it's Odin and Tyr,
Hello.
and we're back with a planning episode. So we're going to plan where we're going to go from here. We got the next 3 chapters to plan out. Now, I know a little bit. I don't know everything.
Okay.
Now, I know from here that because Desmond's body woke up, but of course he's not at the wheel, right?
Right.
So we kind of got to show that. We got to show he's not at the wheel. I think that some people will get it, but I'm not sure anybody who, of course, isn't following along will get it. I think some people will, but not everybody. So maybe
I don't know. I felt it was pretty clear.
Well, I think he's going to be still Desmond, where he's smart, capable. The difference is there will be no tripping over himself. No.
I agree. There's going to be less
I think that
ability for the team to take advantage of him.
the demon is absolutely focused. This
Mhm.
thing knows what it's got to do. It's got to build this machine to harvest enough souls to get its body here, so it can whole cloth run this world.
I
So
mean, devour it or run it.
run it. Why? I mean, be an evil overlord, and you just pick off the cattle when you want something to eat. Just snack on a human.
So he's a hair less malevolent than most tentacle beast.
I mean, you gotta
Well,
think
he's
these
trying to
things
get his
out.
body through, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the big kill. So, what are we doing with the heroes, though?
Yeah, that's the question. Does the next chapter continue on with Desmond and this ancient demon thing? Or are we jumping back to our heroes and what's going on with Robert?
I think, we deal with the Robert coming back to life. There's a lot of fallout and a lot of,
We deal with the Robert in the room.
yeah, I think so. Because even though he was a ghost, I'm of the opinion that, like, okay, I think for writing purposes, I think a spirit would hold on to certain impressions, but not necessarily memories. So, like, all the events that transpired, all the things he helped with, all the things he experienced, he might have some emotional flavor and a hint of what was going on, but I don't think he remembers any of that from being a ghost.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't think he would.
meh.
So you're saying he's going to lose all of the time between when he died. He's going to lose all of his knowledge
Not completely,
of
but
everything that's going on. He won't know who Desmond is. He won't know about this team. He won't know Karen. He won't know any of this.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's a huge case of amnesia.
well,
That
I
puts
mean,
them at a
I mean,
huge
I don't mind a
he
little
disadvantage.
didn't
bit
have a
of-
brain to make protein strands to make up memory, so yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just floating stuff out here.
Whatever is in the brain is what the doppelganger had, which was still a knowledge.
That's true.
Oh, he might even have some foreign knowledge.
No,
going on.
okay, now let's see, that's interesting. Okay, but then his memories are all from a different perspective to a certain degree. But that's interesting. I
don't-
like that.
I don't know. Don't your memories make up who you are? You would literally alter his personality with this.
No, I like the doppelganger angle.
Mm.
That makes a certain sense.
That's going to make him evil.
I mean, not completely.
No, look, I don't. This is a comedy. Let's just overly simplify it and say Desmond is Desmond. It might take a minute to get his bearings together.
Robert is Robert?
That's what I meant. Robert's Robert. Desmond isn't Desmond. That's ironic.
Not currently.
Nobody's home.
Wow. Yeah, that was unintentional for those two things to line up at the same time that they did.
It really was. I didn't mean that. No, I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah,
We've
that was
actually-
a
we've run
last minute
lot of
thing with
parallels,
Desmond.
though, between the groups, and I kind of dig it.
Yeah, but you know, the it's nice to have a little symmetry between villain and hero.
So okay, So we have a little reunion. What do we want to do? Just a chapter about a reunion, like?
No, actually,
Well,
I'm
there's gotta be
thinking if this
ramifications.
is
Are we
the
gonna
chapter
have,
that's
like-
going to fall on me.
Or are you gonna have like a whole chapter?
Well, yeah, it would.
I'm
Of
thinking-
Robert and Mary bumping uglies, getting it back
Could we
together.
not? Could we not, though?
So
Well,
Yeah,
no,
anyway.
you just
would it be
fast
funny
forward.
if she's like, "Oh, you slimed me," like?
You know,
The fuck?
there's
No.
there's just noises and giggling and
I'm-
people running around and getting sandwiches. You know, as one does for like
I'm
3
thinking
days.
at first, Robert's still unconscious and his ghost is missing. Yeah, no? So I think at first it's going to be
What?
Mary asking Karen, well, is he here? Can you see him? And it's just Robert's body.
Oh, I see. So the ghost isn't contactable right now.
Right. Because
So
he's
it
inside
may
a
be in the
physical
body,
body
yeah.
now. So there's a little bit of tension that we could keep hanging on to there for a minute.
So you want to keep him unconscious?
Not for a whole chapter, but I'm saying at the beginning of the chapter,
Hmm.
still did he make it? Did he not make it? Now his ghost is missing. Did we make shit worse? You know?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it is a traumatic thing. He might sleep 14 hours or something.
Well, remember, this is your chapter. So is that what you want to do?
That's kind of the way I saw it playing out. How did we knock him out in the first place?
We ripped a soul out of him and put a new one in.
So maybe that impact.
In Loki's chapter,
It's like
it
a
was supposed to have
concussion.
Crow remove it with a lantern, if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. He pulls it out,
Great. So maybe it was a jarring
yanks
impact
that shit right out of there,
that
and
knocked
then
him out.
flings it in. Well, he didn't. Did he fling that one in the void? Did I describe that?
I don't
remember.
recall, but that was the plan.
Or maybe it's inside the lantern screaming.
But
Like
either
it's
way,
pounding on the lantern like the glass. Hey, let me out!
well, there was a complex
No.
ritual to bind a foreign spirit to that body, so there's no chance of that ghost coming back into that. It might still be hanging around. I don't know. Would have to reread your chapter.
Well, I
to
think-
find
Are they
out,
going to be
but-
haunted by Doppelganger Robert now?
Well, if it got
That'd be
kept,
funny,
if
actually.
it was around, it's like in the lantern.
Well, in that
Yeah.
case, it's just fuel.
That's fair. He could probably use
Can
it.
Crow eat it? Like,
Maybe,
soul
yeah.
energy?
That's. I mean, Crow's functionally immortal.
Well, as long
Just
as
makes him level up?
as long as the lantern stays lit.
No, I just think it just buys him another.
Of course,
And,
we never
you know.
really explained how the lantern stays lit. Could just be souls.
Soul energy?
Yeah, just bought him a couple decades.
Nobody really wants to think about how dark that is, being that
He
he's
starts stealing
somewhat of a
Karen's
good guy.
spiders.
Well,
No.
I think he's only killing
Nobody got that?
evil.
Shoving spiders in the lantern?
Like just whole spiders.
What,
Karen's spiders that are souls?
Yeah. Does it translate though? Because they're in spiders now.
I don't know. You'd have to take
I
that up
think
with
that
Karen.
might have Crow and Karen kind of go to odds.
Well, she's down to one spider right
I was
now.
kidding.
Unless
Hey,
she's
babe.
It was
breeding.
a joke.
Those-
Not actually putting that in there.
Those are my dudes. Don't take them, babe.
She already, it's too late. They're gone. They've been set on fire, remember?
Yes.
So
Peanut butter scented.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember.
she can make more. The
Sure,
men of
she
London
has
in
to
this
kill
time
people
are
for it.
real jackasses. So lots of spousal abuse. Plenty of reason to turn them into spiders.
Jack the Ripper never made it that far because Karen got a hold of him.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? That'd be hilarious.
Mm-hmm. That would be funny.
But it just stops at one point. You kind of have to wonder.
Well, I mean,
That's true.
so
Ran into the wrong prostitute.
hey, I've been looking for you, you son of a bitch. Like- so okay, come on. Where do you want to go with this? Like, where are you thinking for this chapter? This one's yours. So
So I have to do all the
So-
plotting by myself?
All right.
no. I'm trying to figure.
I'm looking at the
So-
clock. You got 5 minutes.
What's the goal? I mean, it's,
Whatever.
it's bring Robert back and
Let's
and
not do that again.
It's bring Robert back and regroup the team. I find these chapters difficult, and I'm glad it's not mine.
Gee, thanks.
Because if I've got like all kinds of violence and psychological shit going on, fine, I got plenty to do. But this, like, just
Emotional reuniting
yeah,
kind
fuck
of thing.
that.
It's not that bad.
I think that maybe in the case of Meredith and Robert, the reuniting wouldn't be some mushy emotional for very long. What it might be is the wolf and the raven back at it.
I also have another thought, though.
Hmm.
Does Robert know who killed him? Or at the very least,
He
don't
knows
you
it's
think
the shadow
at
monster.
the very least
He knows as much as Zara.
he would want absolute like revenge?
Well, he does.
Okay, here's the
traffic
question.
and magical items, and he has contacts in Underworld that can get such things. So it is possible that Robert might seek out something that would help him track
Here's
down
what we need to
the
decide.
person who's behind his death.
When Robert died, Zara ran. She saw the shadow demon, and she ran into Jennifer on the way out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
do you want me to reread the flashback? Because I don't know that we ever read it on the podcast.
Oh, it's up to you if
I
you
don't
want to read
recall,
it.
but sure.
Do you have it readily available?
And that'll kind of explain the connection. Because what we need to decide is, once Robert died, does he now know that Jennifer was controlling the shadow monster? Now,
I
having
don't
the
know
knowledge,
that there's necessarily a good reason for him to know.
No, I don't think he would, but that
he was
doesn't
a
mean...
ghost.
Like
He
I
could have
said,
walked out of the building.
he could track this down.
But here's the thing: is that his knowledge of magic and such
Mm-hmm.
would lead him to probably know that the shadow demon would have been controlled by somebody
Oh,
else.
yeah. No,
Sure,
no.
that's
He
fine.
knows there's a human agent.
So if he became a spirit immediately after death that was wandering the building,
Yeah, but at first you're going to be pissed off, confused.
A little summoning sickness.
Yeah, he's not going to
so
immediately
you don't want to
investigate.
reveal that he knows it's Jennifer.
You know, we can give. Yeah, I don't mind the idea of a telltale sign that maybe Jennifer accidentally reveals her, herself on accident. Like maybe there's some kind of
Nice to see you again.
or some mystical tether or something like that.
Let me read the flashback, and then we can decide how we want to handle it. And keep in mind that I wrote this at the beginning of the book, so it's not awesome. Robert's scream of pain shook Zara to the core. This was supposed to be a simple job: swipe a book and get out. They hadn't expected resistance, but the moment Robert tried to leave with the book, all hell had broken loose. Her hands trembled as she loaded the small gun-like device that Robert had given her, though she wasn't sure how she was supposed to shoot something she couldn't see. Whatever had Robert was hidden within the shadows. All she saw was his struggling form and darkness. But she could get him out of this. It was what he'd trained her for, after all. Zara snuck closer, not wanting to risk hitting Robert and knowing that the gadgets he gave her often failed spectacularly to do what they were supposed to do. She seriously didn't even know where he got the damn things, but it was about 50-50 whether you would end up with something brilliant or disastrous. Zara pulled a dagger from her boot and clutched it in her free hand, stalking closer along the wall. Robert was lifted from the ground, still grasping at whatever had a hold of his throat, but his fingers seemed to be scratching ineffectively at his neck, causing more damage than good. Zara struck, her dagger swiping up along the arm that held Robert and passing right through. She pushed her shock aside for later, as Robert had taught her to do, and moved to his weakly struggling side. She aimed her gun at the shadows and fired an ear-splitting boom accompanied by a blinding flash of light. Jesus, what good was a weapon that was completely disorienting? For all of the fanfare, the results were less than impressive. An inhuman growl bellowed its anger, which Zara felt more than heard thanks to her deafening weapon. Before she had a chance to recover, she and Robert were airborne. They crashed into the opposite wall, her head hit with a sickening crunch, and they both crumpled to the ground in a heap. She swallowed down the sharp nausea and rolled Robert to his back with every intent of dragging him out of there. Fury burned through her at the sight of the bloody gouges he dug into his own neck in his desperate attempt to get air. But when his sightless eyes looked right through her, she broke. She'd been through hell early in life, and when she'd finally found someone who had shown her kindness and asked nothing in return, he was taken from her. An agonized scream ripped from her throat before she even realized she was sobbing. The shadows that had receded when they fell suddenly started gliding closer again at her scream. Fear quickly overshadowed her anger, and she slipped the artifact that Robert had swiped from his pocket to hers. They lost the book, but she could at least return the artifact to his wife. Zara had just stumbled to her feet when she felt its presence at her back. With one last regretful look at Robert, she staggered for the exit. Panicked and grief-stricken, Zara flew through the emergency exit and slammed right into someone's back, ending up with a face full of strawberry blonde curls. Pushing past, she tripped over a pair of legs from the body lying in the alley. Her hair was grabbed and tugged back painfully, but she swiped out with her dagger, slicing deep into the arm that held her, and she was released with a shriek of pain. In no shape to stop and investigate, she ran. Her head throbbed as she ran as hard as she could, and as fast as her legs would carry her. She ran until she was out of breath, and choking sobs could no longer keep up with the ache in her chest. Her legs trembled with effort as she hit the door at full speed, bouncing back slightly before slamming her hand against it 2 more times, while she tried to gasp in a choking breath into her constricted lungs. The door opened and warm light spilled through the opening, illuminating Zara's dirty, tear-streaked face. She tried to speak, but all she managed was a wheezing breath. After several tries, she managed a broken "I'm sorry," before lack of oxygen from her untimely panic attack caused black dots to dance in her vision. The darkness pulled her under, wiping those green eyes from her sight, but not from her memory. The look in Meredith's eyes was one that would haunt her for the rest of her life. One look at Zara's state that night, and she'd known. It was written clearly in the pain that dulled the normally unshakable, vibrant green gaze. And it was Zara's fault. She owed everything to Robert, and when he'd needed her, she'd been too weak to save him. Okay, so that's the whole flashback.
I mean, I don't think it would take much for them to use the knife to track back who it stabbed.
Her dagger?
Yeah.
That's possible.
Especially with, the skills of the team or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
There might be several ways to do it. I don't think Robert exactly knows for sure, but I think that at some point it'll leave little to the imagination. Like we'll be able to give away, especially because Jennifer was stabbed in the exchange.
She was. So she now has a scar on her arm from it. But
Right.
the only thing Zara knows of her is strawberry blonde curls and a scar from where she struck. The only thing is that we are nearing the end of the book. So when do we want to reveal
Well,
that Jennifer was
the thing.
behind some of this?
So I'm thinking that you've got to deal with the reunion of them, then Odin. I think back to the team as they're to Desmond's team as they're instructed to assemble this doomsday device, right?
Okay.
And then I think that we have a crossover chapter where Desmond's team decides they have to get help, that they need, there's a problem. So Odin, your chapter is going to have to reveal that they get the beast is in control, and that's not Desmond in there.
So you want me to display the beast and then have them figure that out all in one chapter? That's not a whole lot of him living in that space, but okay.
Well, because I don't think we have long to expel the demon. I think that one of them has to go to the team and, maybe throw themselves at their mercy and say, there's a problem. You know what I'm saying? They have to betray the demon. No?
And we're still wanting them to go to our heroes to tattle?
No? Or what else do you think they should do?
I don't know. I know that we argued about this before, though.
Yeah, we have. Although I think it's an amusing thought, and I think in reality it might happen, but
The heroes are far more skilled at this than they are.
I don't think it'd be Jennifer. She'd
I
be better speaker, but I
don't
don't see her doing
either.
it. Caleb
I don't
might
know
be
that
able to pull
Caleb
off.
would either. He's got an ulterior motive with
Sure, but he
Talbot.
doesn't need that guy to
Well-
freaking win.
I mean, look, Roberta's ties to this team are not great. It's a paycheck.
Sure.
And the guy who signs her paycheck is currently not all there,
Didn't we mention having Roberta defect from the group already?
Yeah, well, this was originally my suggestion, and I don't remember what
I thought it was Loki who didn't like it.
catalyst
I don't like it, but I mean,
was. The same thing. Were we kicking this around last time?
Tyr doesn't like the idea that Roberta would have Jennifer's back no matter what. I think, at the very least, Roberta has her own back no matter what.
Oh, of course.
So,
She's supposed to be a Caleb twin.
if in
So
the
I think that what we came up with last time was the idea that Jennifer, Caleb, and Roberta work together to stop him, and that our team finds out in another way.
Well, they could
Okay, then we
just
need a
drop
how.
a note.
I just
Like it
feel
wasn't
okay.
me.
It's not that. It's just that I feel like our villains telling our heroes, it feels convenient. Like it feels like cheating. As far as writing goes, maybe it would happen in real life, but do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Are they villains or minions, though?
I mean, I don't think you're entirely wrong, but we have to figure out something. There has to be, You
Well,
know,
it's either that or you
That's
have to
right.
lure,
This is what we said.
lure the heroes in.
We said that if Tedric is still on our plane, you know,
Who?
that Tedric.
the big bone beast.
Oh, is this River Bottom?
Yes. So if Tedric is still on their plane, he's tied to that realm where that creature is from.
Oh, see,
So when the portal closes, they're just like, well, let's just be glad that thing didn't make it through. And he's like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
it
we
did.
did say that.
And well, with Tedric being tied to death and stuff like that, maybe he can help them. So you can use him to your heart's content with dealing with Robert.
So he would be able to lead the team on the search.
Okay. When do we want to do that? I mean, it's definitely on a hero chapter.
Well, I think then
You
what you
wanna-
have to do
I
in
mean,
your
we can
chapter
mention it within
is
the Robert
maybe
chapter.
revive
That's what I was
Robert
wondering.
and set them out on the quest. But you don't have to complete.
Like maybe Karen comes home from a conversation. Like, I don't think River Bomb's hanging in the house. But maybe Karen went out and like had a meeting, went to tea with him or something.
Technically, our
don't
team is
give
still
a
on the
shit where he
field,
is.
right?
Well, I'm assuming they're carrying him home at this point.
Yeah, that's
but
what I thought.
Regardless, none of it fucking matters. The fact is, you can use them however you want. You've got
Right.
all these people at your disposal. I don't see why you couldn't revive Robert and with the help of Tedric, head out to finish this.
Or at least give them the information, even if they're
So-
not quite at the chasing down a god yet.
Yeah, I think they want to prepare a little, maybe let Robert come back to life a little.
I mean, it doesn't take that much for frickin' Tedric to give Wilhelm the information to research and for
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Uh,
Reveal, but not
for
necessarily.
Hammond to set about building a new weapon. You know,
Maybe say the Elder God's true name so that he can look it up in Tobin's
Hell,
Guide.
What
if
am I naming the god?
Tedric is tied to death and stuff like that, he might have some entropy at his disposal to maybe give Hammond a little luck in building his shit. You know, so it doesn't break this time.
Maybe.
I mean, he's a god that can give whatever gift he wants to give. I
Well, I
mean,
didn't say Tedric's not a god, is he?
I mean, have
I don't-
swords.
I don't know. He was just a
I saw
creature.
him. I don't know. I see
I
him
didn't
kind of like a
define it that way.
Sharon kind of character. You know.
Oh, what?
Well, he's called River Bottom. I just figured
psychopomp.
it was like a river god or something. You know, like one of those lesser deities that, are associated with a river or something. I figured he just
Baron Samedi or Death or Sharon. You know.
Oh,
if it's
you're
like a
talking about
turbulent river that
the
drowns
river
people?
man.
Yeah.
The
The
sticks.
ferryman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he may know enough about death. He may have enough ties, to be of some help in that regard,
tilt luck.
Yeah, tilt luck in their favor because Hammond's got, what do we say, a 60% chance of a success with one of his things. You might be able to tilt that number up towards 70, 80,
Or if Tedric's ancient, he could be like, yeah, dude, that's not where that goes, Let me help you fix that.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just, here's your chance. And then I say one-use friend.
What?
Single-use friend. Just use him, get rid of him.
Yeah, he's not exactly low profile.
Right, yeah. Just
So-
use his help, get rid of him.
I figure that he's an entity that, like,
He probably doesn't want to stay here long. It's probably
doesn't mingle well. If he
Well, he
stuck
can't
around
blend.
London, he'd end up murdering people.
He can't blend, so I think that he can help Karen for this.
Oh,
and
you
then,
you can't hide his nature?
do you want me to make him hide his nature?
No, not necessarily.
Well, I
I
don't
was
know.
thinking it'd be funny because, like, after all that went down, there might be some, whatever we're calling them, Fey racists or whatever, right? And they go to attack him, and being a figure of death, he just, like, put out his hand. They just drop dead.
You want him to mass murder right in front of our heroes?
Oh, no, only people who are trying to kill him. Like,
But he's all Mary Poppinsy and cute.
And in my head, he was wearing a trench coat like the Ninja Turtles trying to pass for human.
oh, I don't know. I saw a button-down shirt and black
Trying to pass
slacks.
for human. That's funny.
With the
Nothing to see
that
here. And
fedora,
just three kids
or
sitting
walking
on
all
each other's
hunched.
shoulders.
Yeah, only with giant horns.
Set the fedora between the horns.
There you go.
just put feathers on him.
I'm a human.
That's kind of funny.
Human. Oh, screw it.
All right, so
Well, that's the other thing is like, oh no, yeah, you did describe him as that bone. Yeah, okay, never mind.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
All right.
Dear listener, we accept that we had to sacrifice the whole Saturday for your entertainment, but we think you'd be crazy to miss an episode of The Dark and Stormy Nights. The world sees writers as they want to see them, in the simplest terms and the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each of us is a brain
And a dreamer.
And a creator.
and a basket case.
A researcher.
And a comedian.
Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Dark and Stormy Nights.
Listen to Dark and Stormy.
I see podcast people.
You see podcast people?
I do. All right, so we're naming the
Yes,
the
I'm
dark
not
guy.
naming the god. You guys have to do
So-
that.
I would just like
Do not like Prince Albert.
I would just take your fingers, run it across the keyboard when you're not looking, and whatever that is, just figure out a phonetic way that actually sounds, and you're right. You're right to do Lovecraft. Throw in a couple apostrophes.
The
All right.
whoop-com.
Charisse.
Charisse.
It's a chulin. Who knows?
Why?
'Cause
Linda.
Linda. In my realm, that is a manly demon name.
God of human resources.
And couponing.
Karen's like, I should really talk to your manager about that.
All right.
Oh God.
Okay, seriously. name
Somewhere
the
that
god.
needs to be like. It's better. It's better in the original language.
It doesn't translate well.
Doesn't it still sound like Linda?
I mean,
yes,
you
but
kept
it's
saying Sharon, but I've always heard it as Sharon. So, for the ferryman.
Oh, I've heard it pronounced both ways. I don't know. I always
have
like
too,
Sharon.
but then I just hear Ozzy, and that just doesn't work for me. Sharon.
That's why I wasn't grasping what you were saying, is because I've always heard it as Sharon.
I actually knew a kid named Sharon, named for
For the ferryman.
the ferryman. Yeah. So, and he pronounced it Sharon. So I was like, oh, he should know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever. I don't care.
I know Sharon sounds just slightly more interesting, but you know it's Greek, so I don't know.
Zool.
Yes. Are
See,
you
that's
the
a fun
keymaster?
one. Consonant, 2 letter vowels. Consonant, nice and simple, monosyllabic. Sounds ancient.
Isn't it used?
Great. Pick one.
No,
Isn't-
that's my
Yeah.
point. Just do it again.
Lose. I don't know. Just doing it backwards.
Oh God.
Silly.
Lose. Lose is that means light. It probably won't work.
Mm.
What's Latin for like creepy octopus thing?
Not sure they had that.
I've actually looked this up once.
Cephalord.
It actually, yeah, it comes out like that, like cephalopods or polyps. Believe it or not, actually come from that.
I don't know. I thought this might be a chance to be funny, and we're failing.
So, do you want to go with Linda, or
Cindy.
what are you naming him?
Linda's not terrible. I'm just
It's
saying.
Cindy.
Because if we do the Linda, I think we should have the whole conversation about like how in his language it's much more ominous. Like it means Slayer of Worlds, or something. You know.
So I looked up
Yeah,
powerful
you know what, let's keep it. I
names,
think it's
and I got
hilarious.
Rona.
Rona.
Ooh, Rhoda. You remember Rhoda?
No, actually.
Old 70s. Never
Yeah.
mind.
I mean, Rona kind of works because it sounds like it could be an elder god name or it could be a girl's name.
I was trying to think of some like awful older names from like the
Delaney.
You mean like Gertrude?
like I knew a Perlina.
Ivana.
Yeah, Gertrude's a bad one. Yeah, and people still name their kid Gertrude, and it's like, why do you hate your child?
Oh, that's
Don't
like,
be mean.
Like it's I don't know. Like
Vivian?
No, kids are mean, man. Kids will make fun of you for the wrong name, and I'm like, you got to be careful about naming your kid the wrong thing because they're gonna get
yeah,
mercilessly
you got to
picked
wait
on.
30 years and then all of a sudden you can use them again for some reason.
So no, I don't think Gertrude will ever be usable again.
I don't know.
And then they're always like Gertie is better, right? Like calling her Gertie.
Lily.
We're gonna name this monster Lily?
Maybe.
Although Pearl's not bad.
Why do I feel like that's from something?
My name is Pearl.
Sage.
Do you because the fat vampire in Blade was named Pearl.
Yes. Oh my God.
All right, I don't know. What'd you guys come up with?
Donna.
I mean,
Donna?
I kind of liked Pearl
Audrey?
until you made that reference.
Huh?
I liked Pearl until
Audrey?
you made that reference. Audrey.
Bridget.
Bridget. That's not bad.
You mean Audrey too?
Stephanie.
Little shop of horrors.
Not Stephanie. Janet.
Damn it.
Damn it. Janet.
Oh god. It's a shame that like every one of these names are eliciting some. Like even Stephanie, I was thinking
All right.
Full House.
I think we're getting a little boring here, so we got to settle on something. So pick one.
I don't care.
You know what? Linda
it's
keeps.
not my chapter.
Linda keeps ringing true. Let's go with
I-
Linda.
yeah, I
So we're
like
naming
it.
him Linda.
His name is Linda, but in his realm, Linda is like really tough. It means like destroyer of worlds or something, enslaver of souls.
Behold, in my grandeur, for I am Linda.
Slayer of souls.
Yeah, something like that. Devourer of souls. Who knows? Yeah, destroyer of worlds, devourer of souls. Linda. I am Linda.
Meanwhile, the heroes are just
Do you have any coupons?
like that scene with Biggest Dickus.
What?
Life of Brian.
Biggest.
Stop that.
Dude, that's the thing. Names are always an easy one to go with, aren't they? So, I don't know.
Okay. Name of the god is Linda, destroyer of worlds, devourer of souls.
Yes. That sounds good, right?
Got it.
Oh God.
It is what it is now because it has
It
already
is so
been typed.
hilarious. It's just in my head.
So let it be written, so let it be done.
Exactly.
And now I have the rest of my Togo song in my head. Thank you.
You're welcome, but that's not where it's from. Not originally, anyways.
That's where it is for me.
Okay, so I have to revive Robert, reunite him and Mary, have Tedric tell our team that the god is not gone, and then introduce the god as Linda, the destroyer of worlds.
Well, you don't necessarily. I don't know if you're because don't you want Linda
Not-
to have a chance to like
Not introduce. the
talk about how
god
tough it
itself.
is? Like, I'm just saying you don't have.
Oh
to
no,
give-
you don't want me to have Tedric tell them? Well, in our world, it
Well,
means.
okay, yeah, I guess but
No. It's fine because
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
running gag. Because
yeah,
every
because
time the
later
god
on
says
it'll be
his
brought
name,
up, and they'll.
right. You have to watch Life of Brian because there is a 7-minute scene where it just goes nonstop, where the guards just can't. They just can't keep it in, on pain of execution.
Yeah, doesn't he have one killed or
So
something?
leave it in or take it
You
out.
can't help it. Huh?
Take
no,
it
leave
away!
it in. We're good. Yeah, no, he's right.
Okay.
Maybe we even have it happen to the bad guy team too, right? Where they finally figure out it's not Desmond, and they're like, "You're not Desmond. Who are you? I am Linda."
And another Bob dies.
and well,
And
no,
Caleb's all red faced.
Yeah,
He's
he's
biting
holding
his
his cheeks.
cheeks.
it's
He's
like
clenching his
vibrating.
fist.
What is wrong with this one? Is he defective?
For I am Linda. Another Bob dies.
Okay, so what do we want anything going on with the rest of the team besides nursing their wounds and kind of regrouping?
Well, like I said, I think that Wilhelm is looking up what this thing is and how to defeat it. I think Hammond is building a new weapon. I think Mary and Zara are reuniting with Robert.
Oh, Hammond's got a lot of repair work to do.
But I think more than anything, Riverbottom and Wilhelm are working together.
to find a way to banish this thing.
Yeah, whatever it is, get the information or whatever. I haven't seen it, whatever. I don't know. You're really good at this, so.
Oh, really?
You
So you
are.
don't want me to come up with a solution, though, because our villains are going to take care of it?
No. I'm saying go ahead and come up with but you don't have to lay it out or anything. You
Okay.
know. But yeah, definitely set them on the track. But you don't have to.
Don't figure it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, they may figure it out. You just don't have to tell us what that is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just like I didn't tell you what was in the case until the mech suit popped out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's solutions. It's just not everybody needs to know until it happens.
Okay.
So okay, after that, then we're on to
My chapter?
your chapter, which is Desmond's team with the Beast, right?
Okay. And And you said you wanted the team to slowly realize.
Yeah, they kind of piece it together that this isn't Desmond and there's something really wrong, right?
Okay.
So villains are basically figuring things out. How do you have a specific like clue, something you want them to clue them in?
Well, first off, he wakes up immediately ready to work, right? He wakes
Yeah,
up.
I feel like he's doing full vampire where he does that sit up real quick.
Yeah, that's what. Did I not give a good image of that? I thought I kind of.
Yeah, I feel like it
Where
was
he's
there.
like, he wakes up with a gasp, and he's like, as he like sits up or whatever, and then looks. We got much work to do, and then he gets right to work. You know.
It could be something as simple as the way he's talking. That
Well, I think also that he is just like casting magic in a way that Desmond never could. You know, Desmond needed the staff, and he needed the book, he needed all this stuff, and this
also,
thing is just
he
commanding
could just
shit.
not be referring to any of them by name. You, mortal,
Yes.
come do this
Yeah,
task for me.
yeah, definitely. Ooh, that's good. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. You're not playing with Desmond here. You're playing with this god.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
it's still going through Desmond's memories, so there will
It's
be
not
a
that he
little
doesn't know.
flavor
You're a
of it.
god
he
in
doesn't
somebody
respect these
else's
ants.
body. Yeah.
No, I get that.
Do you
but
give a fuck if they know who you are?
No. I'm not saying that he's trying to mask it. I'm saying that there will be a little bit of Desmond personality in the god, I think, because he's inhabiting that being. You know.
Well,
it-
you know,
and he
I mean,
Really
wants-
though?
Well, he's
He
got to
took it
interact on an
over.
earthly plane. He went through his memories, not just a torture room, but how to operate. You know.
I think,
All right, I think we need to decide how much Desmond is in this god.
Oh, like maybe 15%.
Well, I think he could rifle.
Low.
I do think he can rifle through his memories. I just don't think he really cares. In fact, I think
Right.
he's like, you know, like he may know. He's like, I don't use their names out of disrespect. I don't use your name because this body doesn't even know it.
That's well the bottom.
So-
Oh, that's funny. The bottom line is that this god would look at Caleb and Jennifer. They're cockroaches.
Right? Yeah.
You know, like he sees them as literally nothing.
Yeah, I think he would know enough to go, female. You know, he knows that as a female human. I am designating you.
Frail one. Bring me those things.
Right.
So, I don't know, but yeah, but you have to build the machine, or at least get a good start on it.
Okay.
Or steal it.
Yeah, I
like
don't care what it
steal
looks like.
a
But we
place where
talked
you
about
can-
you named a type of generator or something like
Well,
that.
I was saying that if they overtook like a brewery, so
Right,
they
right,
could use
right.
the copper
Yeah, that's
kettles
fine.
for like a giant cauldron would be an
Sure.
interesting. I don't know.
And you can be a little over the top with them, I think, right? They walk in there and
Oh, they're just gonna
Take-
kill people and
well,
take
yeah,
it
he
over.
walks in and somebody tries to stop him, and he just looks in the eye. The guy freezes in his tracks and falls over or something like that, you
It
know.
might be more blame than that.
But
I was gonna say
yeah.
at least touch him or something.
peel him like an orange without your hands, you know. It's like that might be interesting.
That's dark.
Yeah, I like that. That's fun. I might keep that. No, I was actually thinking
That's
like
fun. That's
like,
fun.
like what was
That sounds like a Saturday night plan to me.
Sold.
no, I was thinking of like damn it, the purple guy.
The one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater.
No,
Dinosaur?
Endgame.
What the fuck
Barney?
are we talking about?
Yes, Barney the alien.
Oh, you're talking about the Snappiner?
Yes.
What?
Why can I not think of his name?
Thanos.
Thanos. Thank you.
Oh,
W-
I was not getting that.
when he
The snappening.
cartoonified the one guy, like he went through a fence and it became a bunch of chunks of meat that had no blood.
Oh, I didn't see Endgame. So you ruined
Oh,
it for me. Thanks.
okay.
Dick. The problem is, me and my son don't. We have one day a week where we can watch all this stuff, and we just have.
I said that one guy.
So no,
You-
you
you
ruined
know
it
he's gonna
now.
murder
You ruined
people.
it.
All
Thanks,
right.
thanks. So now I know how Captain America
He
dies.
murders people?
Not
Thanks.
everyone's dead.
Thank you. Now I know how Captain America dies.
You're welcome, I guess.
Anyway.
Well, that sucks.
Okay, so the way that
How do you
he's
not see that by now?
talking to the group and casting magic and killing people is
Oh, dead giveaway immediately. Yeah, He isn't even trying to hide this shit. But I think he gets most of the way into building the machine before they even try to stop him. So, but
well, I
mean,
think at first, because it's not like anybody really gives a shit
well,
about
then it's
Desmond.
shock. Yeah.
I think at first they're like, "Is this a problem?"
Well, and I think Jennifer might be able to piece together what this machine can do. But imagine like freaking Fantasia, where he's moving shit around in his brewery with his fucking mind and shit like that, and reforming things. You know, maybe even stealing pieces off of neighboring buildings or whatever to make this big. Nasty
Well, I
machine.
already have thoughts on this because, I mean, a lot of factories in the turn of the century were actually using water mills.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
along
good
river, and they
idea.
would actually have generators that create electricity and do a lot of their work.
Sure.
So that would plug in perfectly, if that factory was conveniently had that thing, and I'm writing it, so why not?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Go nuts.
Not to mention, I mean, like, it's London. There's a lot of breweries.
Sure.
So he has his pick. He just finds one that meets his needs.
Right. Okay, I like it. So
Okay, so he doesn't really even bother to hide this because he's got control of a body. So
and
what
it
are they
has
going to do?
absolutely no respect for anybody.
Right.
Your
So immediately, pretty quickly, the team figures it out just with the way that he's behaving. And then once he starts building the machine and Jennifer's observing what he's doing, that's when she figures out, hey, this is going to kill us all.
food. Yeah.
So are we going to have her and Caleb and Roberta start conspiring in this chapter?
Yeah,
or
I
is
think
that
they're
like-
talking behind his back.
When
right
I
off the
started
bat.
actually thinking about him constructing or doing things or melting people, I saw it by him like pointing
Ooh,
his hand.
melting people.
Yeah, maybe
I
like
dig it.
wax. That'd be fun. But just pointing his hands and moving them about. There's such the difference in power levels is so obvious. They wouldn't even question it. They would know immediately there's something.
Yeah,
that's
I
not
think
him.
I think that's cool. They'll figure it out pretty quick. I'm just saying, like, are they going to start? Once it's going to take Jennifer a minute to figure out that this machine goes with this magic and is going to kill them all.
Well, she might be leafing through the book, which is
Right.
easy because he doesn't
Yeah,
care.
So, like,
that's what I'm
she's
saying,
gonna have
yeah.
to see it coming together and be like, okay, now I know what this
Well-
is, and then she looks it up. But I'm like, as far as them
I don't
conspiring
know if half
against
this
him,
would be in the book, but
I think the first occurrence to her is to take off with the book, seeing how this isn't Desmond.
here's the problem.
But then
He's
before she
scary.
can, she realizes what he's building.
right?
You
He's
know.
very scary.
Oh, sure. But I mean, he's distracted with building this thing. He almost doesn't need them.
It's
Yeah.
scary doesn't matter. Like, they know they're dead if he succeeds.
But that's what I'm saying is she's what am I doing? I could just leave with this book, And then as she's about to, she realizes what he's building.
Yeah,
Okay.
that could work.
So you're actually gonna make her slightly heroic, because
Heroic.
Because you have to be.
Right.
Self-preservation.
That's not heroic.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's no use being powerful in a world that's dead and burnt to ash.
Right.
it would kill her.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck this evil god right here.
Right. Because
Okay,
she
so-
does have the total opportunity to run off.
So truly, Caleb would probably
This
talk
might
to somebody
be a
he knows
good
about this.
Climax.
See, yeah,
This
maybe
might be
I'll
a
have
good
Caleb
end
disappear,
game right
which
here.
sucks because I love him as a character, but it'd be a good point for him to disappear from the
Who?
story. Because Caleb's going to go meet with somebody, which we don't need to spell out to everybody.
Right.
So he just
Yeah,
goes
this is
away.
the end game, I think we're talking about.
This is all the end game. Yes.
Yeah, so they build the machine, they get Desmond out of it, and Desmond gets loose enough to realize what he's built, once he's brought back, and immediately I think he sets to finishing the job, just
Right.
changing it enough to
Slightly different.
yeah. But by then, maybe the heroes and the rest of the villains are all in one place, and this culminates in,
Right.
the Frankenstein's castle.
Right, and that's the thing is that the villains can fix this whole evil guy that's occupying Desmond and get rid of him,
Yeah.
but our heroes need to show up in time
Not
to see that
necessarily.
Desmond is still trying to kill all the supernaturals,
I think it becomes.
which would kill Robert,
dual
which would kill
problem.
Wilhelm, which would kill Philip.
I think they pull the beast out of him,
I'd like to know how that's going to go down.
but they don't get rid of it.
This is going to be back to back to back like crazy chapters.
I don't think they get rid of it right off the bat. I think it's even worse than that. That now Desmond is free to finish the machine his way. The beast
What
is
are they going to do with it?
the beast is. What are they going to do with it? What could they do with it?
I
Like
just
trap it.
realized what I'm picturing now. Dr. Manhattan in a suit. Because that's I see him constructing this machine just by moving his hands around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the glass machine on Mars. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, steampunk.
So, yeah. No, I agree. It's something like that. He's moving around, and everybody else
Okay,
has
so
no
here's
idea
the
what they're
question:
doing.
where do we end this chapter?
Odin's chapter.
I don't know.
Is
Like
it
the
just
machine
with
mostly
I think-
Jennifer
well,
realizes,
Yeah, I think it could
or
end
is
with.
it Jennifer realizes, shares with Caleb and Roberta, and they start conspiring?
Well, I think it could end with Jennifer realizes, hey guys, you know what I'm saying? kind of like.
I was thinking like she's looking through the book.
We
and
don't
maybe
have to
she
have the-
pieces enough together. Go, oh no,
Well, I don't care how you do it. You know that meme.
and then cut it.
That meme where the woman's looking off the distance and there's all those math equations.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I
I'm
love
saying
that
that
one.
should be the end.
Yeah.
Like,
and
like just enough to suggest to the reader what's going on.
it should probably be like the Marvel violins playing.
I don't think it would be oh no though. I think there would be some serious swearing. Just saying.
Fuck. How do you spell that?
Right.
I'm terrified beyond all. What was that Egon said?
All right. You know, we will be back in a minute with planning the. I don't know what chapter it is after that.
Yours. What?
Yeah, it's my chapter, but I don't remember what number it's going to be.
I think
24, I think.
Yeah, chapter 24, episode 36.
Okay. All right. We'll be back in a minute to plan that.
Our merchandise brings all the boys to the yard. Go see why on our website at thedarkandstormynights.home.blog.
Okay, so we're back, and it's time to plan
Chapter 24.
chapter 24. So now we have Jennifer having just realized
Mm-hmm.
what happened, that what this thing is building. You know, she almost doesn't give a shit, and then she realizes that she's going to lose in this too.
Mm-hmm.
Do we go to another chapter where this all comes together?
I feel like we stay with the villains.
Okay.
I'm feeling like...
So
I
an
feel like
insurrection from Jennifer point of view
There is
chapter?
more going on with them.
Okay, what if we do this? What if we mute the demon, right, or the dark god, right? He's in the background doing his thing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
What's that the song Powerhouse?
Oh, yes.
That's
is
all going on in the
yeah.
background, right? All the shit's being built. I wish you could like play soundtrack in
Right.
a book, right?
In a book, yeah.
I know some people they actually like put like recommended songs.
Playlist at the end of the
I've
book.
never
I've seen
heard of
that.
I know. Somebody said that they were putting them on each page. That they were putting a
Really?
recommended song to listen to while reading.
That's
I
funny.
can't listen to music and read at the same
That's a
time.
lot of orchestration.
No, you know what?
I get immersed.
A lot of
so-
people say that they listen to music while they're writing and stuff, and I absolutely can't. Here's the thing: I cannot listen to songs that I like without singing.
Right, right.
So-
I can't have lyrics.
There is no way in hell I could do.
I can
that.
do classical. I can do white noise.
I do
but
the white noise, yeah, but no.
I actually like ambience, ideally. Like, so something from the setting I might be in, the time period I'm writing, the kind of background
I
noise that
don't
might be in
have
I
that
do
scenario.
none of
The
that.
patience to
No.
coordinate
I don't
that.
want to listen to shit
YouTube.
while I'm writing at all. I gotta write. Like I can write
I
the
like
thunderstorms.
thunderstorms.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can write the
That's nice.
thunderstorms. It
And
probably
water-
Puts me to
Waterfalls.
sleep because I often listen to that
Well,
when
just
I'm
don't go
reading
chasing
right
them.
before
Well,
bed.
it makes me zone out, and that's why it's better for writing. It's probably terrible for writing. I don't know, but like, but
You
it
know, it's
makes
great
me-
for writing.
It like shuts off all the crazy thoughts in
Beaches
my
and margaritas. Just
Honestly, the
Yes.
only reason I really listen to sound is
Beaches and
because
margaritas are the cure for
you know,
everything.
I agree.
background noise of other people in the house and pets.
I was
Yeah.
dying once, and I had a beach and a margarita,
And you lived,
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
was dying of boredom, but
right?
nonetheless, I lived.
I feel ya.
So, okay, but here we go. All right.
Okay.
We only have so many minutes to figure out what exactly I'm doing in this.
Oh, you
chapter.
didn't want to.
Do we have 5 minutes?
So no, I don't want 5 minutes.
We
I
only
want
need
it
5.
solid 15.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so we have to figure out what the villains are doing after Jennifer's realization. And I'm thinking that her and Roberta and Caleb are going to be like, so, oh fuck, what's going on? You know?
Well, here's the thing. I was going to have Caleb disappear to my chapter. Do you want me to have him come back, or do you want to deal with that
Caleb
on your
shouldn't
own?
disappear until they
Well,
why
figure
would he
out what
disappear? in the
Because
chapter.
because he's going to go off and
talk to Talbot.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
That
Because,
should not happen until after sees what he's building. No.
well, I think that he starts construction, but this is after he's melted people.
No, you know what?
I think Caleb's
agree.
really
Here's my
concerned.
thing.
He shouldn't run off yet.
Is he
I
going to
think
run
that
off when he sees that? Hey, that's not Desmond, or is he going to run off when he's like, hey, Desmond's trying to kill me? You know,
Yeah.
those are two different.
Now, I think
situations.
Caleb-
I'm not saying he's running off.
No.
He just wants to have a conversation.
Caleb
like, what
having
am I
a
supposed to
conversation
do?
should be its own chapter.
I'm not. No, I was going
No,
to.
it can't be in the book.
I was saying.
No, the man in the shadows. You don't have to describe him.
Okay.
You
Do
know
you
what
want
I'm
to do
saying?
that then?
We don't have. We
Do you
don't have
wanna
to
do that as a
make
chapter?
the reveal. The man in the shadows.
You could do that.
Well, I think that I don't think we're there yet. And trust me, I would like the man in the shadows chapter, but I don't think it's.
Really? Because
I
I
think it
that
comes after this, and it's not mine. I
he's
think
going to
it's
melt
Tyr's
a bunch of
chapter.
workers, like 30 of them.
I get that, but I think that Jennifer and him and and Roberta have the conversation first. I think that they.
Yeah, I think that Caleb
I think
can't
maybe
run
they
off
all
to talk
split
to
off and
Talbot
go their
yet.
own directions and try to get something handled. And as the monster, or as the dark god is like, where'd they go? And
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, I guess, but if I'm a spy, and then a guy who had nominal power and had these huge Machiavellian plans that always blew up in his face suddenly just went around and ray gunned people left and right, I might go to my
not gonna
superiors.
stick around, that's for sure.
I'd be like, hey, man, how am I supposed to handle this?
I mean, I think they might sneak off and like go to a bar a safe distance away and have this conversation.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you guys are talking about two different points in the story. You, Odin, are talking about as soon as he realizes Desmond's not Desmond, he should take off. Whereas you, Loki, are saying that once they figure out that, hey, Desmond's trying to kill us, they should take off. Those are two different chapters at this point.
Yes.
So if
I'm saying that there's
if
no way Caleb's
Odin
taking off.
has Caleb taking off in his chapter, it's before they even know about the plan, because Jennifer's realization comes at the end of the chapter.
And I'm saying that
Right.
Yeah, I'm saying that the man in the dark is a trump card. You know what I'm saying? That's something that like Caleb pulls on. He's like, okay, look, I've got a resource I can use to help us in this. Because I think that
I don't think Caleb would even announce that. I would just have him
Oh,
say,
God, no. He
I
wouldn't
have
be-
someone I can ask about this. I'm going to go do some research.
He doesn't
Okay.
trust Jennifer
and
or
but and now
anybody
Jennifer
else.
has the book. So
Right, and then we have to send Roberta on a mission.
yeah, where do we want to send
So
Roberta?
instead of doing Caleb taking off in the previous chapter, you're doing it here.
Here's the thing: I hate to do this many pages of dialogue, because that's what most of this chapter is going to be, is tons of dialogue.
Not really, once they split onto their own.
So I'm going to follow all three of them in a single chapter. I feel like that becomes 3 different chapters.
It could be.
I feel like we don't need to follow
or
all three of them.
sub-chapters.
That's true. I'm not sure what
You could do
Roberta's
chapter
going to do is
breaks.
going to be all that important.
Right.
Uh,
But what do you need her to do? Run errands for Jennifer? Find Pandora's box to stuff this sucker in?
Keep this guy distracted.
something. I don't know.
What if Jennifer finds out about an arcane artifacts dealer who used to have a certain type of container that could trap?
You don't think she would know that it's Robert?
What if Caleb knows of an arcane artifacts dealer and Roberta...
That's
Maybe
more
she sends her
likely.
to raid Poppy's shop or something like that. Not that a bunch of potions are going to do a whole lot against the dark god.
No, I feel like they
Yeah.
need some... They have to have an end game here. They have to be planning... You need to come up with a plan of how they're going to get this thing out of Desmond and what they're going to do with him once he's out.
Right. Yeah, no. We need like ancient kung fu soul punch shit.
Okay, so what's your ancient kung fu whatever shit?
Are you saying like a Constantine character comes out of the shadows out of nowhere?
No,
Dude.
that's too much. We can't have
I love
another
it.
reveal.
You know, like an actual magician who
I-
actually
like, if
exists in
we
this world.
introduced-
Pull him out. I actually am saying
If
like
we
more
introdu-
Doctor
Oh
Strange.
no!
Like,
You know what they might think is they need Crow's scepter. They need Crow's
Lantern thing?
lantern.
to trap a god in there?
Well, to pull him out. of
Super
Desmond.
Crow.
I don't think that would work.
I don't think Crow would have any of it.
I mean, unless you're gonna plug Crow into a light socket,
Could this be
you'd
the
have to
thing
like
that
super
takes
juice him.
Crow out for a early retirement?
Deactivates him.
I
Maybe.
think you would annihilate.
But that's the
Crow.
thing,
I
so
think it'd be dust.
There's no way she's getting the lantern from Crow, so she'd have to lure Crow there. So maybe that's it. Maybe they don't tell the team. She lures Crow.
Who does?
Roberta.
I mean, it's possible. Crow.
I think
doesn't work
maybe
for the
Jennifer
team.
tells Roberta to get the staff, and Roberta instead ends up luring Crow there, so she doesn't have to fight this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't think Crow's powerful enough.
It's
As
about
an
his scepter. It has nothing to
Does-
do
No,
with
I don't
that.
think the
Does
scepter's
he need
powerful
to?
enough.
What?
I think
You
it has-
don't think his scepter's power and
No, not for.
All
Here's
it's
the
got to
thing.
do is pull a soul out of a body.
Is the whole soul here?
What?
This portal closed.
No.
Well,
it's
it's
just
like a
enough for him to do
piece.
this. Yeah, it's a part
So
of him.
why is Crow's lantern not big enough for a piece of a god's soul?
It's still a piece of a god, not a human. I'm
Yeah,
so-
it's like
Well,
one,
that's what we're saying.
It's like one tentacle
Okay,
worth
We're,
of
that's
God.
what we're
miss-
saying, though.
you're
Is
missing
could
me.
it overload the lantern? We were saying that
Yeah, we were talking
Crow's
about
going to be
taking him
put
out.
it on ice.
then Crow's dead.
No, he's not dead. He's trapped.
Without that lantern, he's
Yeah,
dead.
no, he's trapped in the
No,
lantern.
it's not that the lantern dies. He's always been trapped in the lantern.
No, like he's trapped. Like he can't control
We're
the body
saying he's
anymore.
overloaded.
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, what I was trying
And
to
what we say, it takes like a century for it to cool down.
Yeah, we were talking about doing a Crow series in the future.
what I was trying to suggest
Crow in space.
is that
No.
he would need some sort of amplification.
Do you know the math of how this thing works?
Do you?
Have you seen its physics?
Oh,
In
the
my
lantern?
head,
Like I made this thing up, and he thinks
I
he
mean,
knows
How
the
is
metaphysics of it.
you're dealing with an elder god. I just feel like there's some. You need to have some other
We're
magical
dealing
item
with
on.
one tentacle.
Yeah,
of
we're
an
gonna
elder
kill
god.
Crow and basically kill Crow
I
in
get
order
that.
for this thing
Well,
to.
And I think to even make that possible, he has to have something in his hands, some other ancient artifact that he's gone from some other character that just amps him enough to be able to accomplish the task. That's all I'm suggesting. I don't care if he wears another hat. He takes
wears another hat.
Desmond's coin. I don't care how we do it. I was just suggesting he needs to tap into the power of something else just to make this happen. Because this is so much beyond just ripping us all out of a person.
Maybe he summons Exodia. No Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, I thought it was a Final Fantasy thing.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
God.
Riding a chocobo. There you go. There's your Final Fantasy. I hate chocobos.
Yes,
Hate them.
that sucked. Yeah, I don't care. I was just saying is I just feel like just
Well, I'll tell you what. We
one
will
more.
leave it up to the person who gets to write that chapter. But that isn't even my chapter. My chapter is a conversation between three idiots. Basically.
So Jennifer sends Roberta on a mission to get Crow's staff.
Right. And I don't think she'd do it. I mean, I think she would try, realize it's futile, and instead lure Crow.
Okay, and you want that within this chapter?
I don't think I want to illustrate it, no.
So let's not even follow Roberta. She'll just show up with Crow at a later date.
I don't know. I'm almost thinking that Odin's right, that maybe they have the conversation, right? Jennifer assigns that to Roberta. Jennifer is going to research what this thing is, and then we have Caleb run off to talk to the man in the shadows. And maybe I follow that up, and he has that conversation.
That's essentially the notes for the chapter. Caleb and Jennifer and Roberta start conspiring. Jennifer researches. Caleb talks to the man in the shadows, and Jennifer sends Roberta on a mission to get Crow's staff.
Right. I'm just saying I'm not illustrating Roberta's
I don't
part.
think it needs to be
well, you could
illustrated.
end it just by like she sends them.
I feel like when
Okay.
it comes time,
That could be-
when they're about to face off with this thing, Roberta is running down the street, and Crow's in chase. Like,
I wonder how that's
Why
going to
would
happen.
they start the fight without her and the staff?
no. I'm saying
Oh,
that
she runs away?
she's running from Crow. You know, like she tried to steal the staff. It didn't work. Crow makes chase.
Oh, is that how?
I see.
Okay.
So you need to decide what Talbot's contributing to this. If you're having a conversation with the man in the shadows, which is Talbot,
Well,
like what's
I
his-
think he arms Caleb.
stay the course,
With
and here's
what?
that magical thing
Yeah, here's this
Suggested.
magical thing I've got. He's just emptying the coffers of.
So maybe this magical thing is what Crow would need in order to
Yeah.
have any chance of surviving taking on the God Soul.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, it can be whatever. I don't give a shit what it is. Do you want me to make something up?
Not
It really
necessarily,
doesn't matter.
but you're going to have to create a. If your chapter is mostly going to be Caleb and the man in the shadows, you need a conversation there.
Yeah, I mean, do we want some big badass thing?
It's the bone of a saint. Who knows?
It is the pinky toe bone. Is that why it smells
They
like
did that.
cheese?
It was so weird.
Really?
Middle Ages, someone dies, remotely famous, they tear them to tiny little pieces and put them in lockets. And then when they run out of those, they do it to another corpse or to chicken bones or something and then sell counterfeits. Yep.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, well, that was the pilgrimage. That's what they did back then, the Canterbury Tales and all that in that era.
Superstitious bullshit.
Delightful. Anyway,
Entire churches are built
Yeah,
around
I don't know.
one of
I
those
mean,
things.
what are we thinking? It's got to be something like, bright and like,
here's the thing:
Holy.
is Tedric gone at this point?
Well, I thought we said we're going to use him, get rid of him.
So he won't be around for the end game.
Probably not. No.
Okay.
I keep forgetting that's his name.
I mean, like I said, do we want it to be something ridiculous, like funny, or do we want it to be something more like
That kills the thing? Oh, the artifact.
yeah, or do we want it to be something that's like, you know, that makes Caleb a badass or something like that?
It's like a rabbit's foot.
you know, like a holy ping pong paddle or something.
It is the ear bone of Charlemagne.
This is Balls of Fury now.
There we go. Hey. The testicles of Saint Albert.
Oh God,
Lord.
the preserved testicle skin.
Oh.
Oh.
What is it? It's a leathery pouch. The testicles of Saint Albert. Oh.
No.
Do you have a napkin?
Bullocks.
Bullets. I'm just trying to return us to the funny, okay?
Why is it rattling?
We got really dark for a little bit, so I'm trying to make it funny again. Yeah, why are they rattling? That's great.
Those are his desiccated eyes. Why?
Oh, Lord.
It's all sewn up with a jaunty, kind of of a yarn with feathers sticking out of it.
Well, at least it's got a handle. Indeed, that yes, handle.
Oh God. Oh my God, that would be the grossest dice bag. I need to make this on an
Have you
Etsy
seen
account.
the backpacks? There's
Actually, yes.
the nutsack backpack.
No, but I was thinking like
It's a thing. It's great.
for
I've seen
tabletop
the
role
stress
players,
balls.
they
No,
tend
no.
to have those bags for their dice. That'd be hilarious.
This is a backpack that looks just like a giant nutsack. Like a troll nutsack or something.
It's not good.
It's fantastic.
It's entirely too realistic with veins.
It is so realistic. Hair,
folds
like it
and-
looks like there's hair follicles and stuff like that. Yeah, it's
Ugh.
terrible. It's so good. Although I prefer the knitted nudie onesie,
Now,
What?
the anatomically correct
now, do we go with
nudie onesies
do we go with someone famous like Charlemagne, or do we find the most comical saint we can
for the
think
nutsack.
of? Yes.
Caligula?
Caligula.
So why would they keep that?
I don't know.
Virility, obviously.
Didn't they cut off Rasputin's goods?
Did they?
I don't know.
I thought they
They
cut off.
shot, stabbed, poisoned him, decapitated him, and he still wasn't quite dead yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they cut his junk off.
I mean, why not at that point?
So, yeah, I don't know. I'll try and think of something funny. Unless you have something, or should I make this my question on Twitter, or do you think I'm going to lose?
Although-
Whose nutsack you want?
However, if you do want to keep a guy near undeath, sort of alive longer, Rasputin would be a way to go.
the holy,
He
the-
did, dodge.
So, well, we need the holy genitalia of a saint or some historical.
No,
figure.
I like to go in the opposite direction. The unsaint. The unsaint Rasputin.
But he was a priest, wasn't he? Wasn't Rasputin like a priest?
I think he was a mystic. I don't know. I don't
Is
know.
that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, he's...
The line was really thin back then. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
It could have gone either way. Okay. I dig all this.
I
So
like the term unsaint. I just came up with that.
the,
I like
the
it.
whole thing. That's what I'm trying. I think we got to get funny again.
Well, it could have been somebody who was like an evil practitioner or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Rasputin. I like it.
Wasn't there a cult leader we were just talking about?
From back then.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they were still alive. If you're talking
Yeah,
about,
the
like,
good ones were still alive,
yeah,
Oh.
like Crowley and stuff like that.
Gardner, Alexander.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I assumed we don't want live testicles.
So, well, I mean, we don't want them still attached to the subject, you know.
I mean, they're detachable.
I mean, I guess.
All nuts are detachable if,
you
try hard
really,
enough.
really need a holy
Fair.
object immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Were there any real big assholes in history that maybe it would be funny to have the, like,
Well, I don't really want to go down the Hitler route on
Napoleon's balls? Hitler wasn't
this
around.
one. Well, yeah,
yet.
no, that's true. We're a couple years before that.
So we could do like Napoleon or like I don't know. A lot of people thought Napoleon was great. I'm sure he was fine. Whatever.
He actually wasn't that short. He was 5'7" for time period. It
I
wasn't
said
even
nothing
that.
about his height. That's heightest. But no. I mean, there had to be like a real jack off from back then that we could use the, you know.
I mean, I'd have to do some research, but I mean, nearly everybody who had money and power back then was an a-hole. So.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it was it was a who's who of jack-offs.
Wait. The king who killed all his wives
Henry VIII?
was, yeah.
Well, that was because divorce wasn't allowed.
And you only have.
Oh, well, that makes it okay.
And
Never mind.
Having
He's
only
forgiven.
girls happens because only one of your nuts is working.
Well, you needed a male heir.
Oh, so he'd only have one nut?
No, he might have
So he
both,
wouldn't
but
work
one
for
wasn't
this.
working.
Oh, okay.
So
It's amazing that we could know that.
that one of his nuts wasn't working.
Yeah.
When you have all, no, my seriously, this happens. This is like you just have like 20 girls or something like that. It's because your boy nut isn't working.
I really don't think it works that way.
Don't think how you want.
Okay.
So, all right, we know what we got to do. So we will be back with a Tears episode next week. All right, so go find us at thedarkandstormynights.vigvasirmedia.com, the Dark Stormy K1 on Twitter, Nova Drake Writer on Twitter, right?
Yeah, Nova Drake Writer.
vigvasirmedia.com. Find us on YouTube. We can also be found on
Google Play Music.
Google Play,
iTunes.
what's the other one we just did?
Spotify?
Spotify. Thank you. So, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.
Bye.